It is a myth that a significant amount of music on the internet is the result of people downloading others' music and reworking it into new music of their own. Okay, so there's some things that I'm going to be a little bit hypersensitive to right now. Any guess what word I'm like focusing on right now?
Significant.
I'm not so concerned about myth. To me, myth just means it's not true, right? Significant. What does significant mean? Some, a lot, right? It like doesn't mean anything. So this is interesting. This is actually just like the question we just read. It's saying, someone is saying that a significant, a lot, some amount of music is the result of people downloading and reworking it into new music. And this person is saying that's a myth. This is a really hard thing to like argue against because significant is so vague. Like, if you're going to say that's wrong, you have to show that it's essentially not happening or just happening like once, and then you're like, okay, that's not significant. But even that is a little bit subjective. Anyways, we know this because it has been shown that 99% of internet users who download music do not publish new music of their own on the internet. Okay, well, sounds like they're acknowledging the fact that maybe 1% do. And this argument isn't about the number of people doing it. It's about what? The amount of music on the internet, right? Okay, well, what if you have one person? I'm thinking of the Napster dude. Right? I don't know. He was like copy music, not reworking it. That's a little strange, but one person could actually create a significant amount because that's not even, I don't even know what that is. It's not even most, right? If they said most, I'd go, well, but even then, if they said most, someone could, in theory, create most of the music on the internet. Just be like a machine. Yeah.
They make it even easier than that by saying that it could be 1%.
Yeah, 1% of users.
Yeah, which is probably about accurate, in my thought, anyway.
Oh, like that's significant?
No, like 1% of the population, yeah, probably makes like most of the
music. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's true. So we're dealing with two different numbers here. We're dealing with a percentage of the people who are making the music and then the amount of music itself, which is like inherent problem, right? Because that 1% could be making quite a bit. Yeah, it's kind of like the 1%. Right? They make a lot of money, or at least they have a lot of money. The editor's reasoning is questionable in that, this small percentage of people could be doing a lot of music making. A, overlooks the possibility that a relatively small number of people can create a significant amount of music. And yeah, in fact, they're using the exact same language from the passage. What answer were you tempted by? C?
I'm embarrassed to say that.
You don't want to tell me? Okay. Well, let's get rid of these really quickly. B, neglects to consider that the ease with which music can be published on the internet. I don't think we're so much concerned about. It does neglect that possibility, but it's not just about publishing, it's also about reworking. So I feel like this is kind of ignoring a key part of the argument. C, fails to provide an alternative account of the sources for most of the music published on the internet. It fails to provide an alternative account of the sources for most of the music published on the internet. We don't actually care about, first of all, we don't care about most of the music on the internet. We just care that this number, whatever it is significant. So it could be a very small percentage. It just is significant, whatever that means to this person. So, and I don't know that you need to provide an alternative. You can just say, hey, this ain't happening. I don't know why or how whatever is happening, but you don't have to provide that alternative. So there's a couple problems with C. D, presumes without providing justification, which means what, by the way? Anyone know? You can always replace this phrase with must be true or necessarily assumes. So does it have to assume that those who rework downloaded music into new creations always publish those new creations on the internet? There was one time where someone didn't. That doesn't matter. Takes for granted, in other words, necessarily assumes that internet users always. So when you have an answer choice in flaw, by the way, and it says presumes without providing justification or takes for granted that, and then the assumption that is stated after that phrase is super strong, like always or only or never, like just zero in on that word and ask yourself, does it have to be assumed that this is always the case or this is never the case? If that assumption does not need to be made, then that answer choice is wrong. Because it's like, well, this isn't even happening in the argument. That means it can't be a flaw. So, given how much we like A, I would have stopped at always in both of those answers. I'd be like, no. If there's one exception, it's not going to matter because we're dealing with soft numbers anyways, like the word significant, as opposed to everyone or every piece of music. Then you might need to make assumptions about always. Okay.